The San Francisco 49ers have gotten another glue guy. I can't wait to talk about who he is. And really, I'm not even the one who's saying he's a glue guy. We'll get to all of that in just a second and what we actually mean by that phrase. But we also have later in the video a couple of folks who have reversed their opinion from a negative side to a positive side. And I think they're going to be really interesting when we get to those. So stick around for that part of the video. Also, hit subscribe if you're looking for daily 49ers content. It does genuinely help me out. I very much appreciate it. And I love having all of you joining in the community, getting in the comments. We'll be responding to one of you in the comments today, actually. But first, let's get to Todd McShay. He gave his take on the 49ers draft, and what he had to say was absolutely fascinating. Firstly, I'm going to get to a couple here, and I'm going to play an audio clip for you in a minute. But Michael Williams says he's a great run defender, and he's a run defender right now. So he's an immediate impact player. He's got all the traits. He also said he can't think of 2 or 3 better than Nick Bosa, and he couldn't be in a better spot to be alongside Nick Bosa. This is a home run pick, he says. So there you go. On Alfred Collins, he said this was another good pick. Right away, he's going to be stout versus the run. So he's rated, ready to go versus the run. That's the second pick. The third pick, Nick Martin. Felt like this one was a little bit early. Good player, but a little bit early. I get that because of the injury. But if you look at the 2023 Nick Martin, I would argue this was actually the right time. It all depends on who the player is and how they fit your scheme, but whatever. Then he got to Upton Stout, and he said this about Upton Stout. Give it a listen.
Upton Stout is one of my favorites. Slot cornerback. He's glue. He's glue. I don't care what PFF says. Like, there's no corner that gives up less separation one-on-one. But yeah, he's a slot, but he's a damn good player.
But they already have a slot, is what I'm saying.
Well, I had him right there at 101. I was
Great value. Great value. I agree with you. But again, it's a position that I didn't really see as a need.
2 other names I want to throw.
Okay, now we're gonna talk about that need thing in a second here. But first, let's just kind of recap what he just said. I don't care what PFF says. There's no corner that gives up less separation one-on-one. So when he says glue guy, he's not talking about the typical use of the term glue guy, a guy that brings the whole team together. He's talking about stickiness in coverage. So that's exciting. You know, it's exciting to hear that kind of stuff. And the intensity with which he shared all of it, the passion with which he shared it, that has me super hyped, no doubt. He also talked about whether or not this is a good fit. And there's a question here, and I'm interested if you will let me know in the comments, because you guys have a lot of great insight. Do you feel like, just genuinely, like, what do you think? Do you feel like the 49ers are trying to find a way that Deebo Lenoir moves to being like a permanent corner, or most of the time corner? Is that what you think they're doing with this Upton Stout pick? Or do you think they have something else up their sleeve? Do you think this is depth? What do you think this is? Because clearly this guy is an incredible talent, and there's a lot of hype around what he's going to bring to the 49ers this upcoming season. So again, lots of players the 49ers have had really positive, immediate impacts. This is coming from experts, not coming from me, okay? All that's being said, he also talked about Jordan James, said he'll do really well when he's needed this year, another this year impact player. Curtis Rourke talked about how that's a great position for him to end up, so it's great for Curtis. If it's great for Curtis, it's probably going to be great for the 49ers in the long run. Granted, he's probably not going to be playing for the 49ers, knock on wood, because we should be having our nice young quarterback getting a big deal and be sticking around for a very long time. Also threw out there Junior Bergen, just said don't sleep on him. Punt return master, and that's something that Kyle Shanahan talked about wanting to use Junior for, give him a shot on this roster as a punt returner. So there you go, and you get the extra little benefit. He can also potentially do a little bit of stuff for you in the wide receiver role. I don't see that happening in Kyle Shanahan's system personally. There's a lot of guys in between him and getting some real playing time. But if he's a solid punt returner, he's going to be similar like Trent Taylor kind of role, where he's a punt returner. That's really what he's here for, but he has to do a job out there on the field as a wide receiver at times and in special teams and things like that. Well, no, I already said special teams. I don't know why I said that. But he has to do a job as a wide receiver as well, because that's kind of just part of the role, that if a guy goes down, then you got to be ready to take over. Now, I have probably been more critical of this next person than anybody in the national media, and his name is Chris Sims. I have been so critical of Chris Sims' take on the 49ers, because I think often they're off base. They're reductionistic. They're oversimplified. I don't like Chris Sims' takes on the 49ers typically. So when he says something that I agree with, It seems fair to give him his due. Here is what he said about the 49ers draft. I'm going to do my best to say this and skip a couple things that YouTube doesn't want me to say out loud. I thought the 49ers absolutely crushed the draft. They got back to their roots. This is coming from Chris Sims, guys. You guys, this is Chris Sims, okay? This guy is the biggest hater. Well, that's how it feels anyway. Like he's the biggest hater of the 49ers. This is what they were. This is what Shanahan and Lynch took over. This is how the team was formed. A bunch of BAs on the defensive side of the ball. Let's accumulate that. Let's kick the heck out of everybody else. They'll get over the offensive side of the ball in a year. But Shanahan's awesome. He can cover some holes over there with how he coaches. Mykel Williams, BAMO or BAMF off the edge from Georgia to start. Alfred Collins, same thing from Texas in the middle of the defense. Nick Martin, our kind of guy that we talk about with the 49ers, a little smaller, kamikaze, throws his body around everywhere. CJ West, a great D tackle from Indiana who's really good, undersized, disrupt the play kind of a guy. This is how Chris Sims has, and I call it a reversal in a way because of so many times that I've talked about Chris Sims on the opposite end, in disagreement with his takes on the 49ers. It's refreshing to see him go out there and say something super positive about the draft for once. One more reversal. I call this one a reversal as well. It's not necessarily an official reversal, but I think it's a reversal, but whatever. Pro Football Focus finds the way to praise what the 49ers did in the draft. And, of course, this is the same PFF this is actually the same analyst that gave the 49ers a D draft grade. There you go. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't think anybody in the NFL got a D last year. I'm 99% sure. We got a C on someone's draft grade, and I remember looking, and there was never anything below a C minus, and so it kind of helps to kind of analyze where that's at on there. Here's what Pro Football Focus said. While the 49ers may not have been widely praised following their draft, they entered with a clear goal to address a deficiency in quality run defenders, and they attacked it. Of San Francisco's 6 defensive picks, 5 earned PFF run defense grades over 80 in 2024. After the 49ers defensive line ranked 26th in PFF run defense grade at 46.9, Robert Saleh knew the unit needed an overhaul. The team selected Mykel Williams, Alfred Collins, and CJ West to beef up the trenches. Williams and Collins bring the length and versatility to make this front a problem to game plan against, while West adds mass and energy to disrupt the A-gaps. Despite some concerns in coverage, the 49ers get a pair of physical nickel corners in Upton Stout and Marquise Siegel, each of whom posted a run defense grade above 85 this past season. That's a lot of run defense. And again, PFF saying that the run defense was one of the most improved units in the National Football League from the 2025 NFL Draft. One of the most improved units. That's coming from the same exact analyst, Mason Cameron, who called the 49ers out and gave them a D in the draft grade. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I think the reason they get a D in the draft grade is because of the way that PFF runs their metrics. It's because of the way that they analyze needs, and it is the way that they analyze the handling of those needs. There's also this other part of draft grading that I don't like, that is like this thing of if you don't have a player that is an immediate, like, how do I say this? Has like an immediate EPA impact, right? Like, then it doesn't, the way that they run those metrics, I think they're a little bit set up for you to pick up a really good running back or a really good quarterback or like a lightning wide receiver in the first round. Like that's kind of how they set up those metrics. All of that to say, you guys, PFF has reversed their position in some ways, at least in terms of making a big shout about this run defense overhaul that the 49ers have had there. I'm super hyped about it, and I'm also super hyped about this. We are 9 days away from rookie minicamp. Can you believe it? 9 days away. There's going to be so much we're going to be covering between now and then and after that. Can't wait to do it all with you. Thank you so much for those of you in the comments who are giving me super good feedback and some honest feedback. Like I like like someone commented recently, like I like the draft, but I don't like how certain aspects of the draft were handled, namely those first 100 picks being all defensive. and I get that. I respect it, and I disagree with you, but I totally get where you're coming from. And you know what? If we're in the middle of the season and our offensive line looks rude, looks horrible, looks terrible, then we're going to definitely be feeling a little bit like we might have made a mistake at some point in the draft. I look forward to seeing all of you in the comments. As always, appreciate you and hope you guys have a fantastic evening.